Hi, this is your Strength and Balance circulation warm-up. So circ boost or warm-up. So we start with feet nice and wide. Think posture prep, sitting tall, and we're just going to start with a sway. I'm still in the back of my chair. We're going to stay seated for this one. So wide base sway can be done in standing or seated, and this is really lovely movement, but actually it's really important. It's good for your pelvis, for your core. And we're going to start with a hip walk, so just moving the hip forwards, so lift and pull the hips bottom forwards until we come to the front third of your chair. Your feet are still wide. Encourage your participants to have wide feet and maybe slightly in front as well. And then we start with just a heel lift. And that might not feel very much to you, but actually this is one of the most important parts of it. It sends the blood up through the calves, the thighs, the heart to the brain. So a heel lift, alternate feet, one if they can only move one. Remember that great posture. So shoulders back and down, belly pulled in. Again, this is not a fast movement, so take your time. Breathe. Okay, then we encourage arms. So a gentle arm movement, soft hands. Hands come down to the hips and up to the ears or hip to lip. And the arms brush the sides of your body, so they're not across, and it's not this movement. It's a whole shoulder movement, and I'll go to the side to show you. So my hand, my elbow comes right back. And again, if there are any leg problems or they need a rest, just the arms can be moved. Lovely. And encourage opposite arms to hands. That's quite a feat in itself for some people. We do it naturally when we're walking, but actually in seated, it's quite difficult for some people. Hold it there. We're going to come into a shoulder raise. So hands come down and we lift the shoulders up towards the ears and gently drop down. So smooth movements that flow. We don't put pressure on the joints by clunking them down. So lift and lower and press, actively press those shoulders down. Lift and lower, and then back to the heel lift. So always thinking about increasing the heart rate safely within your participants' own limitations. And it might mean they need to have a rest for a moment, especially sitting in this self-supporting spine position can be quite tough for some people. They can always feel free to come into a full back rest. Okay, so coming into a shoulder roll now, a shoulder circle. So hands come down, lift the shoulders up, back and down. Breathe. So try not to get them to hold their breath. So just releasing off the shoulders, up, back and down. And preferably in a dining room type chair is better, then the arms don't get in the way. You might say that you can feel some crunches or some clicks. It's fine as long as it's not painful. We just work through those movements. And then as always, back to that heel lift. Relax, enjoy it, enjoy these movements. I'm going to come forwards in my chair a little bit and the hands come down again, feet slightly wider than hips. Really important when we're leaning to the side. So we're going to just lean gently to one side, use the muscles in the belly to pull up. And if you need a rest, you rest at the top. Lean into the other side. And notice that the head, the neck are all in line with the spine. So there's no pressure on the spine or the neck. Keep breathing. And this is stretching, mobilizing through the waist, the torso. And then we come back to that heel lift, and you might get them to bring their feet in a little bit wherever they feel most comfortable and safe. And you might take a bit longer to do some of these movements. It's normally about 15 minutes for your older clients. They need to take a bit longer to warm up their muscles, their joints. Okay, some little rotation movements so that you've got various options. In seated, chest lifts, and we slide one hand forwards and the other hand slides back. and we take our eye gaze over the shoulder. So it might be small to start with and then progressing to larger movements. And over the weeks, you'll notice a difference. There's an option here is to hold on to elbows and just take a rotation, and that will be a smaller movement. That's effective though as well. Trying to keep the knees still so you get the movement focused into the ribs and the waist. The other option is with a supported hand, if you have somebody who can't use one arm, for instance, is to just support with the other arm. Just coming one side and then the other, and then we're coming back to the heel lift. This is your go-to, the heel pump. It pushes that blood up through the body. Let's add in the arms, so we slow it down. Bigger movements. Excellent. Great. And then let's work through the hips. So feet are wide, and we're going to make that big circle with the chest. In standing, that would be a little hip circle, half a hip circle forwards. In seated, it's this little rotation, and thinking about the nose leading or the chest leading. So we keep that spine in neutral position. And let's reverse again the other way. Excellent. And then we're going to hip walk. So we're at the front of our chair. My feet are going to come back and up wider. So I'm going to hip walk. So it's that wide base sway. I lift and shift my bottom back into the chair. So backwards and forwards. And this is a whole new movement in its own right. It's a brilliant movement. Forwards and back. And this is how we encourage people to get forwards in their chairs before they stand up. You can make it bigger. You can lift that leg off the floor. Keep going. This is quite tough for some people. It's quite a big movement. It's a whole body movement. Lifting and shifting. Excellent. And then we're going to stay at the front of the chair. Take your feet nice and wide. And that's part of your circulation boost, your warm up. We've broken some of the other parts down for you, and we'll pop them in a separate video, the ankle mobilization, for instance. So practice.